to everybody. Thank you very much for the invitation from IBIA, and thank you to the Cosrich family, which I know very well since I came to the port. They are very demanding, so I had the opportunity to know that. It is a real honor for the port of Genova, for the city, to host such an important event with you. And I think that the topic is one of the most relevant topics that we could discuss today. In the last 3 years, we had the pandemia, and I think that we have recovered from that. Then we had the war, and we are trying to cope with that. And then we have the energy transition, which I think is definitely the most important challenge that we have ahead. And that's why I think that it is really important for us to be here today and to have the opportunity to share our views with you. And I'm really eager to know about the outcomes of this conference. I would like to start off why in Genoa we are so much interested in this conference. Because as the mayor was saying before, in the last 6 years we invested in the port 3 billion euros for several projects in order to upgrade our infrastructure situation, our capital expenditure trend. And we are dealing today with some very important projects, for example, the new breakwater. We are upgrading several terminals. We are completing some last mile, either road or rail project in the port. All what we are trying to do is, of course, in order to have more volumes, more ships, more investment, more jobs in the port and in the logistic and in the supply chain. That's, of course, the main job of all the Port Authority. The idea is to develop. We believe that international trade will develop. We will have economic growth despite some tragedies or some stops along the way. And so we are doing that. Today, developing a site like the port of Genoa means to be sustainable. It is not like in the 90s or in the beginning of the 2000s when the environment, sustainability was an important goal. Today, either you are capable of being sustainable, of showing to the people our port is embedded in the town, like most of the European ports. So the topic of sustainability is really relevant for the people. So we have to be able to show that today we are trying to cope and to solve all the problems and the target that sustainability poses to us. That's why, and we come to the topic of today, the energy transition is so challenging. Because of the climate change, we see that the international organization, at the international level, at the global level, we are setting very demanding standards in order to achieve the energy transition goal. So the first concern for the Port Authority, for the mayor here in Genoa, is that the speed that is included, is embedded in those targets for the transition, I think it is not sustainable. I think that there is no clarity worldwide about the speed that we will have to arrange in order to reach those targets. And that's one concern. The energy sources today are mostly oil, gas, electricity, renewables. There is no way to reach the targets that we see, that are set at the global level in 15 or 20 years, if we want to have sustainability in economic and social terms. So we cannot only see environmental sustainability, we have to see that this kind of sustainability also copes with economic sustainability and social sustainability. And that's something that I think should be discussed more. And one conference like the one of today, or many other events that are going on around the world today, I think should discuss at a deeper level this first topic. The second one is that as a port authority, I have to invest. I have to make some projects in order to achieve one technology or the other in order to be sustainable. Let's make two examples that are now going on in our port authority. Shore power, and we are doing also a deposit of LNG. Any one of these specific projects can cost around 40, 50, 60 million euros. Shore power for the cruise terminal is 25, 30 million euros. The GNL deposit in Vado is 45, 50 million euros. It is of course difficult, it is a challenge for the Port Authority to find this money. We have to ask the national government. The national government has to provide this kind of money for all the ports. It is important to find which is the technological solution that is accepted in the shipping community, in the cluster. So we have at one level the need to have, at least at the European level, some kind of homogeneity. We have to have a uniform standard for one or two technologies in order to be able, at the local level, as Port Authority, to find the investment. Otherwise, we will have both funding problems, funding concern, and we will not achieve the result. Last year I was called by the president, the chairman of the Port Authority of Marseille, and he was asking me what are our plans with respect to shore power. Because we agreed that either we do the same things, otherwise one port in 300 kilometers range does shore power, another port doesn't do that, it is not going to work. So the first concern is speed, the second one is to have a uniform standard, at least the best possible uniform standard for one, two, or three technology. I'm not saying that we should have only one path, but it's important to have at least a common view, and then we have to set the standard at an international level. So it is a complicated way to go, but I think it is the only way to go. An event like today is very important. I think that in this room there are people that know this topic much better than me. It is a very technical subject. It is very demanding in terms of, as I said before, you have to have good common sense, you have to propose something that could be achievable, but also effective. So, once again, I thank the opportunity of being here. I'm really eager to hear what you're going to say, and I wish you a very important and fruitful day here in Genova. Thank you.